is there a system, a strategy for asking for help? Like, how exactly does one go about asking for help, asking for support, asking for affection? How exactly does one go about asking for the sale? Like, what are the components? What's the framework behind that? That's what we're going to be talking about. Specifically, we're going to look to AI prompting engineering to help us learn how to ask for stuff. Because one amazing thing about ChatGPT and all these other LLM AI modes and models going on out there is that you have to ask them to do something in order to receive the thing that you want. And isn't it funny that we as a society are now being trained to readily ask a computer or an application for whatever we want before we would turn to the person sitting next to us? You see this actually, studies have shown this all the time in colleges where students, it's not necessarily while a lecture is going on. It's just, they're just sitting there next to each other and they will text each other the question that they have rather than physically turn to the person sitting next to them and say, hey, can you show me this? Or, oh, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? We would rather type it into a device. And you know what? So rather than looking down on that or being frustrated by it or whatever, we're actually going to use, today in particular, AI prompt engineering to help us learn how to ask for the ask. There's a framework around it. Sensei Victoria Whitfield here, your journey partner in life and business. It's my honor and pleasure as a high performance coach and energy healer to help you get and stay grounded and clear in mind, body, and business. It's my joy in these messages as well as in the work that I do here in New Jersey, in person as well as on the phone or online, to help you increase your energy so that you can increase your income and impact, right? So have you hit subscribe yet? Is this your first time seeing a video? Let me know if you're a first timer. Go ahead and type it. But we're talking about prompting your people. Prompting your people. The same way that if you've been trying to fiddle with or happily using ChatGPT and other AI modes, have you been happily prompting the device and the platform and getting great results and you're feeling satisfied, or maybe some results not fully satisfied, but you're used to asking Alexa, sorry if it goes off, you're used to asking Siri, you're used to asking okay Google, you're used to asking all of that instead of human beings. If this is for you, if it's hard for you to ask for help, we're going to turn to history, science, and spirit for support in getting your reps in. Asking for support. This is interesting because this is one of the things I'm hearing intuitively to relay to you that is knocking you off track, right? In your life and your business, you're called to make an impact. And in this series of episodes I'm doing here on YouTube and all the things, right, to support my community, you are part of it. We're talking about keeping you on track, keeping you focused and moving forward. And today in particular, the reason why you're not moving forward or the reason why you keep getting knocked off track is because when it comes time for you to deliver the ask or ask for what you want or your needs or what you're wondering about, etc., you just, you stutter, you stop, right? So let's look at that. Exactly how. So, as always, doing the chapter by chapter, kind of randomly, guided by spirit as always. Study of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is where we're getting our history. Chapter on the brain. It's number 13 in my copy. Shout out to you if you are reading along. Let's go. The brain. we're going to use it. This thing where asking for stuff comes from. We're going to learn about it, how this program, how this GPT, right, this generally pre-trained AI mode, well, real I, not just artificial, but like real intelligence mode. The brain thing up here, we're going to use that and see how that works. Let's check it out. The brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. The 12th step towards riches. More than 40 years ago, the author, which he's referring to himself, Napoleon Hill, working in conjunction with the late Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and Dr. Elmer R. Gates, observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. In a fashion similar to that employed by the radio broadcasting principle, every human brain is capable of picking up vibrations thought that are being released by other brains. In connection with the statement in the preceding paragraph, compare and consider the description of the creative imagination as outlined in the chapter on creative imagination. The creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain, which receives thoughts released by the brains of others. It is the agency of communication between one's conscious or reasoning mind and the four sources from which one may receive thought stimuli. When stimulated or stepped up to a high rate of vibration, the mind becomes more receptive to thought that reaches it through outside sources. My spirit guide told me to pause. This is how the ask is transmitted. We are inside the engine looking at ask engineering. We're going to look at prompt engineering in a little bit, but here we're looking at brain and thought influence engineering. Unpause. This stepping up process takes place through the positive emotions or the negative emotions. Through the emotions, the vibrations of thought may be increased. The emotion of sex stands at the head of the list of human emotions as far as intensity and driving force are concerned. The brain that has been stimulated by the emotion of sex functions at a much more rapid rate than it does when that emotion is quiescent or absent. Pause. Sex cells? Why? Vibration. If you can arouse a person's mind, you can arouse their attention and action. Unpause. The result of sex transmutation is the increase of thoughts to such a pitch that the creative imagination becomes highly receptive to ideas. On the other hand, when the brain is functioning at a rapid rate, it not only attracts thoughts and ideas released by other brains, but it gives to one's own thoughts that feeling that is essential for before those thoughts will be picked up and acted upon by one's subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, conversely, is the sending station, right? Creative imagination, receiving, subconscious mind, sending of the brain, through which vibrations of thought are broadcast. The creative imagination is the receiving set through which the energies of thought are picked up. Along with the important factors of the subconscious mind and the faculty of the creative imagination, which constitute the sending and receiving sets of your mental broadcasting machinery, consider now the principle of autosuggestion. We now call that affirmations, which is the medium by which you may put into operation your broadcasting station. Through the instructions described in the chapter on autosuggestion, you were definitely informed of the method by which desire may be transmuted into its monetary equivalent. Operation of your mental broadcasting station is a comparatively simple procedure. You have but 3 principles to bear in mind and to apply when you wish to use your broadcasting station. 1, the subconscious mind. 2, creative imagination. And 3, autosuggestion. The stimuli through which you put these 3 principles into action have been described, and the procedure begins with desire. Okay. Connecting this back to prompting your people and exactly how to ask. What Napoleon Hill outlined in that lovely selection on the brain is the engine with which you transmit as well as receive and process asks in general. You, them, everybody. If there is a brain, right? If there's a brain involved, and so there is going to be. Here's how it works. Step one, according to this, creative imagination. Let it be stimulated. Turn up the emotion. Use your creativity, use your imagination to turn up the emotion, whatever it may be, positive or negative, doesn't matter. But because of that, the engine is now warmed up for asking as well as for receiving asks. Warm up the engine with creative imagination, increase the emotion. 2, subconscious mind. So this is all about sending out, broadcasting. And so using your awareness to be crystal clear of what's the content, sending or receiving, but especially what are we going to put out and how are we going to put it out? So that's number 2. And then 3, operate the both of them, the sender and the receiver. And how we operate the sender and the receiver is through affirmations or auto-suggestion, as Napoleon Hill was saying that. How you program what's the output, right? Coming from the subconscious mind. How you program that is with the words that you put in. Your input affects your output. Surprise, but no, this is very important. If you want to learn exactly how to ask and how to not only know what you want, which, right, that's desire and the subconscious mind, but also transmit what you want, you have got to look at and pay attention to the words that you're putting into you in the first place, your input. If your input sucks, your output, the results that you're going to get, are also going to suck. And so this is the foundation of the engine with which you're going to be asking, is the brain. We got it. Thanks, Napoleon Hill. All right, let's turn to science. AI Prompts 101. Understanding how they're created and used. This is from springboard.com, which is like an online learning platform. So if you also want to upskill and learn more about exactly how to be a prompt engineer, check out springboard.com. By the way, all of these articles I just pull from research. It's not because of any kickback that I get yet. You know, I'm open to it. So if you're interested, holla, right? If you're at Springboard, I would love to meet you. Okay, this article was from 2023, written by Kendra Cooper. AI Prompts 101, understanding how they're created and used. What are AI prompts? AI prompts serve as the bridge between human intent and machine understanding, enabling us to communicate our desires and queries to generative AI models. Pause. Before I go even further, why am I looking at this when we're talking about asking for help from other people? Recall what we talked about at the beginning of the video. We're more interested and motivated and readily open to asking our phone or asking Alexa, asking Google for things as a society. We're more ready to do that now. So, okay, let's analyze how we ask the AI, all of those are AI. Let's look at how we ask that and take that muscle, that strength of asking, and apply it to interpersonal communication skills. So listen for now as I'm talking about people communicating with generative AI models. Imagine that the generative AI model is also some other person that you could talk to. Not saying that it is, we're trying to take that strength and apply it to actual interpersonal communication. Got it? Good. All right. By the way, type got it if you know what I'm talking about. So prompting a large language model to obtain a desired output is an increasingly sought after skill. Well-crafted prompts enable users to obtain accurate and relevant outputs to efficiently solve complex problems and create shortcuts in their daily workflow. Prompt engineering allows you to establish methods to automate tasks using generative AI, says Lara Ango. It's a way of interacting with generative AI such that you can ask it to solve a problem and predict to some extent that you'll get it in return. People use generative AI for innumerable purposes, from generating text for an important work email to brainstorming ideas for a new mobile app. Users communicate with the AI model through prompts. Generative AI models are now embedded in many of the software tools we use today, from word processors that suggest grammatical corrections like Grammarly and predict the next word in a sentence to email and instant messaging apps. Generative AI uses natural language processing, NLP, not to be confused with neuro-linguistic programming, algorithms to decode the message in an AI prompt, translate human speech and text into machine language, and generate an output using human language. Pause. So the purpose of prompting a program, right? Basically, the purpose of typing into the Google search bar your question is so that when you hit enter or you hit search, that platform is then going to translate your human words into machine language, which is going to go to the machine, tell the machine in its language what to do, and it's going to figure out, okay, well, here's what I got with that, and then it's going to send it back, translate back into human language, and give you the result. Understood? So unpause. What is generative AI used for? Here's a few things. One, summarization, like, hi, ChatGPT, here's an excerpt of an article on home hydroponics. Copy paste. Can you summarize the most important points? Two, classification. Here's a database of customer reviews for an e-commerce website. Reclassify the responses as positive, negative, or neutral and tally them for each category. Three, translation. Translate the phrase, I love data science, from English to French. Four, text generation completion. I'm writing a cover letter for my first software engineering job. Here's some bullet points about my accomplishments and background. Copy paste. Generate a cover letter using these points. 5, question answering. What are the steps to creating a user flow for UX design projects? 6, coaching. And by the way, this really means consulting. Like, this is a whole nother can of worms, the difference between coaching and consulting. So I'd say consulting, asking for suggestions like, how would you improve the following script for a YouTube video or about generative AI? Copy paste your script and then it rewrites it. And then 7, image generation. Create a snail house on the top of a cliff, surreal fantasy digital art style. Okay, so that's what most people are using AI for right now. The ingredients of a good AI prompt, and this is the most important part. How to ask. So 1, input or context. Provide the model with the information, ask it to convert, translate, summarize, classify the information. So, for example, here's a transcript of a podcast about generative AI. You put the transcript. What does it say about LLMs? And then 2, underneath input context. Or you can ask the AI to assume a specific role within the scenario, such as, you are a customer support representative who's trying to appease an angry customer after a shipment arrived late. Explain how you plan to remedy the situation. All right. So after input context, then we need instructions. So tell the model what function you need it to perform, such as rewrite this code from JavaScript to Python, or specify the desired output length. So write a 150-word summary of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Mention the desired tone. So write a polite response, or specify the format, such as give me the summary in bullet points, or explain it step by step. And then specify the audience. Explain generative adversarial networks, GAN, to a non-technical person, right? So that's the audience. And then lastly, questions. Prompt the model to answer a query such as, why is processing a sorted array faster than processing an unsorted array? Ask the model to interpret a given input, such as, here's a Python code snippet. The function is supposed to be a short list, but it's not returning the expected output. Can you identify the problem? And then lastly, specify the desired output format. The example is provide a short answer and explain your reasoning, right? So one more thing from this article, you can focus on doing this prompt as a one-shot learning, where you have one long, super duper duper long prompt, or secondly, you can refine the output with few shot learning. So that means multiple questions, multiple prompts, so that you build it and innovate it over time. Connecting this back to exactly how to ask. We need context, instructions, and questions. Context, instructions, and questions. So when we're talking to somebody and really asking for help, one, we need to set the stage with context. Let them know, are we talking about everything or are we talking about one specific thing? Just as they were saying in the article here. Two, instructions. Walk them through the process as best as you know it, right? List it out and then let them know where you need help in the different steps. And then three, include questions such as, what do you think about this? How can this be improved? How do you translate this, etc.? There's methods and frameworks to how to properly ask, right? And it includes being able to, one, put the context together, set the stage, two, build up the steps that you expect, and then three, include any questions that you have in addition to getting the task done. You can also do it in one long shot, but I actually recommend, my spirit guides are telling me to tell you, that it's important that you do it, how did they call it in the article? Few shot. So back and forth to make sure the person understands what you just asked them. So we can learn so much from AI prompt engineering around how to engineer human conversations around asking for help, right? This is the tip of the iceberg. I recommend reading the entire article and going through it for yourself. Here's what Spirit has to say for how to prompt your people, and especially why. We have the 3 of water today. 3 of water. Coming as a challenger. And the words, when I was looking at this, don't really match what I was hearing from my spirit guide. So I'm just going to relay to you what I'm hearing about 3 of water. Water has to do with emotion, right? And your feelings, as well as our passion and our subconscious, what's going on beneath the surface. And then 3 has to do with intuition, guidance, being able to perceive and follow your guidance, having a sense of direction. So 3 of water as a challenger means our feelings, we're resisting how we feel about heading in this direction. We're resisting the inner guidance that we have and how we feel about it. Beneath the surface, in your heart, in your gut, you know that you need to ask for help and you need to communicate it well, right? You need to have that few shot back and forth, as they said in the article, conversation with another person of how to really hand off or share the project or share the issue together. You have that feeling, and that is your intuition steering you in the direction of receiving help, and you're resisting that feeling of, I need to bring this up. You're resisting the intuition to go for it. And be kind to yourself. Today in particular, you've got to go for it. Start the conversation. Use the frameworks in not only what Napoleon Hill said about the brain, knowing how to set the stage for asking, but also what they said in the AI article. Use the frameworks there of exactly how to ask for help. In fact, notice if you're ready to ask ChatGPT about this situation and for consulting and advice, then the actual person or people who can do something about it, and use the modes, use the models to support you in being able to communicate that. Now, okay, the action step of the day, because we need to meditate this out. Is you're going to log on to school. You're going to type into the search bar, Rainbow of Universal Healing Meditation. It's under the Physical Healing Meditations folder in school. It's 19 minutes long. Okay. So what that's going to do after our conversation, what that's going to do is ground you and heal your relationship, especially with an imbalance in your throat chakra. So this is your ability to communicate and deliver the ask, right? The other chakras in the rainbow of light, that is your energy system, are more balanced or more pronounced than your throat, I'm hearing. And so what this meditation is going to do is help you harmonize your entire energetic inner rainbow so that you feel comfortable, aligned, and balanced to get out there and talk to the other person. We can go into theory till the cows come home, like in these videos, but when the rubber meets the road, that means you're actually taking the physical action here. You're speaking to the person. You're having the conversation. Go mess it up. You can learn. You only fail forward. You never fail backwards, honey, right? You're either failing or learning. Go for it. So with that, you may be coming to the end of this video and think, okay, so that was awesome, interesting. I have a lot more questions now. I'm not ready for school yet, Victoria. But how do I ask for help? How do I create my own prompting sequence? How do I interact with my people? I need to know for me. Like I appreciate these YouTubes, Victoria, but I need to know for me. If that's you, go ahead and click the link for my Calendly. Go hop on my calendar. Let's talk one-on-one. See how I can help, or if I know someone who can help you get the clarity that you seek. And if you made it to the end of this video, yay! Thank you. That means you owe me a like, because apparently this was interesting and really supported you. Go ahead, hit the like button so that YouTube knows that I'm worthy of being on this platform and sharing information. Comment below if this was valuable for you or anything that comes up. And if you made it to the end of this video, that means you know somebody who should hear it. Go ahead, hit the share button, share it on your social media platform or with someone that you care about who really needs to hear this message today and find it really interesting and valuable. Mwah, big hugs and love. And I'll see you in the next one. Remember, you do not have to lose your glow as you grow in life and business. Bye for now.